Welcome everybody to the Wolff Media Group podcast, and today we have a very special episode. We will be beginning shortly. Please stick by. Welcome back everyone, and today I just want to talk about, is the Adobe suite actually worth it if you have like an Apple? Because there's many more options out there besides just Adobe. So that's what I want to talk about today, is all about the Adobe suite. The Adobe suite, the dreaded $49.99 Adobe suite that gets you everything that you need, from Photoshop to InDesign to After Effects to Premiere to Lightroom, anything you need to animation, anything you need pretty much, Prelude, anything and everything you need, they have it. But you're going to pay for it. You are going to be paying $49.99, I believe, or for your student, $29.99 for your first year, and your second year is $39.99, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's $49.99 for a regular license for Adobe. And you might be thinking, that's a good price. You get all these apps. You get Photoshop, you get Illustrator, you get Acrobat, you get InDesign, you get Lightroom, you get After Effects, you get Dimension, you get animation, you get character animation, you get Encoder, Prelude, Fuse, and those are all the apps you get. Premiere, Dreamweaver, Audition, stuff like that. Which might seem like a very, very good deal if you're on Windows or something. But if you go to Apple and you have an Apple that can run stuff, instead of paying almost for $50 a month, instead of paying that, you can get Logic, Final Cut, Compressor, Mainstage for $200 as a bundle for a student discount. The student discount, they don't check, so anybody can get the student discount. For $200, you got a video editing software, a compressor, you have audio editing software. So that's right there. Never have to pay for it again. And then if you really do need photo stuff, you can buy Photoshop for $10 a month instead of $50. But you're saying, what about After Effects and stuff? Very true. After Effects is very, very good. But if you're not doing heavily graphics intensive work, Apple Motion will get you by if you're just doing basic rendering of different smaller things, like maybe just text animation. You can get by with using Apple Motion. Guess what? That comes with the bundle. So I think it is good. Don't get me wrong. I love the Adobe suite. I have the Adobe suite. But for $50 a month when I get out of school, that's a lot. That is a lot. That's $600 a year, which can add up to a lot of things. But it's not bad for everything you get. Like, I can't complain about it too much because it's very, very good for what you get. That price, it's pretty spot on, I would say. If not very, very good to it. Not good to it, but I don't know the other word to use for it. It's very well-rounded for video, audio, video, visual effects. You get your website, it's an all-in-one package pretty much for $50 a month. But if you're like me, I don't like subscriptions. I hate subscriptions. So if I can avoid them at any chance I can, I will. Because I don't like having to pay for everything every month. I like to just have it. I pay it once and I just have it. But don't get me wrong. Paying up front sucks as well sometimes, especially if it's Apple, because they will overcharge you. Like, if you have to buy, don't go out of your way to buy an Apple computer just because you get all those apps for $200. But if you have a decent computer that's Windows, Adobe's great. Adobe's will be awesome. Same if you have a Mac. Adobe's awesome. There's no way around it. It's great. I'd say it's probably better. Something you get more. You get more out of it than buying the bundle for Apple. But buying that bundle for Apple, cheaper, $200 upfront. That's what I like, upfront. And you're going to use it right away. You can airdrop them to other computers so they can use them. It's great. Great system and everything. But once again, Adobe, I don't know if Adobe takes it, but Adobe does have a lot more options, like I said. And some may say it is easier to use, and in the industry, like most industries, they'll use Adobe. Like, I'm not gonna lie, most industries, they use Adobe if you're going into like editing or sound design or something like that. Graphic design. Graphic design, you will be using Adobe because Apple has no photo editing software, which I don't know if they ever will. Just because Photoshop is out and how good Photoshop is, I don't think there is any need to have a Photoshop on Mac. Just because it's only $10 from Adobe, which is not a lot. That's $120 a year. That's not too bad because you get Lightroom, Photoshop, and you get one more. I forgot what it is. But for $10, you get all of that for photo. And then you pay another $200 if you have an Apple for everything else. So what? That's $200 plus $10 for the month. Like initial cost, $210. After that, $10 every month. Not bad. That's your Netflix subscription. Not bad at all. But I don't know. I can't say anything because I use both. I use Final Cut. I use After Effects. I don't like Premiere. To be honest, I don't like Premiere. I like Final Cut better. I think it's well-rounded compared to Premiere. Premiere is just kind of there. It's like After Effects. If you don't know how to use it, it's not going to work for you, which makes me kind of mad because I sometimes give off my stuff to other people. Be like, here's my Final Cut library. Can you just finish this up or something? And it's simple. But if I try to do that with Adobe, anything in Adobe like After Effects, Premiere, I'm like, here you go. And they're like, okay, it's going to take me a second, a little bit more, because I usually don't work with it. So if you work with it and you know it, great, keep using it. But if you're on the edge, I think Final Cut's easier to use in general. Just all Apple stuff is usually pretty easy to use, but you are a little bit limited to some stuff you can do on like Apple Motion and stuff like that. It's mostly just Apple Motion. You have a little bit more limitations because you can't get as many plugins for it. You can't get like Red Giant. You can't get Cinema 4D, I believe it is. There's just some things that you can't get with Apple Motion. So, which is a downside, but you get what you pay for. It's a $60 program that you get in a bundle for $200. But I think it is really nice to have that bundle because like Logic is like $300. So as long as you pay $200, you get Logic and Final Cut, which is a $500 combo. So it's very nice for them to do that. It is for students technically, but once again, they don't check your email. So I think overall, both great programs. If you've never used one before and you want to, but if you want to if it's more video editing, I feel like Final Cut Pro is better for more video editing if you're just getting into it. And if you want to get into graphics and stuff like motion graphics, Adobe all the way. After Effects is just so much better than Apple Motion. Apple Motion's good, but not as good as Adobe After Effects. So I think they both have their ups and downs, but overall, it's a win-win for either one you get. They're both great softwares, and I don't think you'll complain if you ever get either one of them. They're both so good. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys liked it. And one quick thing. Thank you all for listening to this week's episode, and tune back next week for another very special episode. I appreciate everything that you guys do and listen, so thank you, and have a great week.